Gyananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahiyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shanyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we are going to talk on one verse from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. You want to put that on the screen?
Yes.
Chapter 11, text number 8. So chapter 11 in the Bhagavad Gita describes Lord Krishna satisfying Arjuna's desire of seeing the universal form, the Vishwarupa. So Arjuna has just found out that Krishna can display a particular manifestation which is called as the Vishwarupa or the Virata Rupa. He wasn't aware of that previously. In the sense that he wasn't aware that Krishna would do that for him. So Krishna, he inspired Arjuna to try and see if that was possible. Krishna told Arjuna that Yad yat vibhuti mat sattvam shrimad urjitam eva tat tat evavagachattam amatejamksha sambhava. That simply by a spark of my splendor, all that is opulent, beautiful, attractive, amazing, all that is ever, in the past, right now, in the present, in the future, all of that is manifested simply by a spark of my splendor. It is like Ambani telling you that if I give you this card, then all of my wealth is available to you. Or, okay, I'm in the US. Elon Musk. He says that this is the password to my account. And I have everything in a single account. So all of my stocks, my investments, my earnings, everything that you can think about with regards to my financial status that can be accessed if you use this password. What would you do? What would any one of you do? Sorry? I cannot hear you. Can be use it? Would you think about, is it ethical, unethical? Would you think about, should I ask someone else, call up my parents and ask them, what should I do? Or maybe talk to my wife or my husband. Would you do any of that? What would be the immediate instinct? Yeah, you'd want to see if that is actually true, right? I mean, it's so good or too good to be true in one sense. So you want to really see if that is available, if that facility is available to you or not. So practically when Krishna says all that is, so think that whoever Krishna is, that is Elon Musk. Whoever Arjun is, that is you. And somehow, and this house is the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the chariot. And he tells you that simply by putting in this password, you can access all of my finances in whatever forms they are. So now you can try and understand how excited Arjuna is. Because Krishna has told him that simply by a spark of my splendor, everything that is attractive, beautiful, Vibhutimat Sattvam, all the Vibhutis are there, spark of my splendor. So Arjuna is like, can I try it out? That is how he requests Krishna to show his universal form. Because it's so exciting. It's once in a lifetime opportunity. And why is it a once in a lifetime opportunity? Let's suppose you also have access to, that also gives you access to all the records of all these companies. Single password. And you are one of the stakeholders in this company. What would be your interest now? You have the password. What would be your interest? As I said, you are one of the stakeholders in this company. You'd want to know how much, obviously you have idea, but you would want to be sure. In his database, where do you stand? What is your status? Now you can see how interesting the universal form can be. Because each one of you, including me, can realize where we stand. Because universal form is everything in one place. Everything related to my life, everything related to your life, everything related to all of our lives and beyond is there in the universal form. Now, sometimes people ask, can you tell us what is? Can you read my chart? Will this really happen? For Arjuna, Arjuna had that option. And why is Krishna revealing it to Arjuna? Because Arjuna is interested in it. So Arjuna asks him. And then Krishna says, all right, I'll reveal the form to you. All right. So that is the Prishtabhumi. That is is it prologue? The prologue? Prologue. It's called the prologue or epilogue. That's the epilogue. Yeah. That's the epilogue. Thank you. The context. So now, this is the verse. Natumam shakyase drashtam. You want to repeat?
Natumam shakyase drashtam
Anenaiva swachakshusha
Anenaiva swachakshusha
divyam dadami te chakshu
divyam dadami te chakshu
pashyame yogamaishwaram
pashyami yogameshwaram
natumam shakyase drashtum
natumam shakyase drashtum
anenaiva swachakshusha
anenaiva swachakshusha
divyam dadami te chakshu
divyam dadami te chakshu
pashyame yogamaishwaram
pashyami yogameshwaram
natumam shakyase drashtum anenaiva swachakshusha
natumam shakyase drashtum anenaiva swachakshusha
divyam dadami te chakshu pashyame yogamaishwaram.
divyam dadami te chakshu pashyami yogameshwaram.
So let us read what the translation is. Somebody would want to read the translation? Any volunteers? Please raise up your hand. Volunteers? Okay, you go first.
But you cannot see me with your present eyes. Therefore, I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence.
So Arjuna is desirous of seeing Krishna's mystical form, which is full of opulences, because Krishna said, Vibhuti mat sattvam. So Vibhuti means opulences. Why does Krishna say, but you cannot see me with your present eyes? Anyone? Krishna is ignorance?
Because we are ignorant.
Okay, all right.
Or we cannot perceive the spiritual thing with the material.
Okay. Anyone else?
These are materialized.
All right. Okay. Anyone else? No? So we'll try to understand this by reading the previous verses of the Gita. The answer could be there. All right? Let us read the previous verses. Can we go to verse number, I think we should go to 4.
Chapter 11.
Chapter 11, 4. Yes, just the translation. Let's do that. And then we'll look at the Sanskrit also. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go to the previous page. So we have all the translations there, right? 4, 5, 6, 7. We just read verse number 8. So now we are going to see what are the translations to text 4 through 7. Yes. Who would want to read? We need 4 volunteers. Each volunteer reads one verse, the translation. Okay, 4.
If you can think that I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, O Master of all mystic power, then kindly show me that unlimited universal form, universal self.
Okay, so that is Arjun, right? If you think I can do it, then please show me the form. All right? Yes, Maithili.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, O son of God, see now my opulence, hundreds of thousands of very
Very divine and multicolored forms. So what is Krishna doing? When Arjuna asked him that, please, my dear Lord, can you show me your form if you think that I would be able to see it? What does Krishna do?
He's saying that he has been.
Yeah, but what does it tell Arjuna?
Ready to fulfill his mission.
Yeah, so what is it telling Arjuna? The Supreme Lord said, what is this? Who is it talking to?
My dear.
To Arjuna, isn't it? Right? So let's say I'm the Supreme Lord and yeah, I would like to be that. And Rasashekhar is Arjuna. So this is a conversation. You are asking me, ask. Yeah, just ask, paraphrase it.
Please show your universal form, O Lord.
Hey, Rasashekhar, see all of my opulences. Right?
Yes.
So what's happening?
You are now showing the universal form.
when Krishna says, see my opulences, right? So I'm showing you the universal form. So what I'm saying, the Supreme Lord, if I am the Supreme Lord, as is, I'm playing that part. So I'm saying, see my opulences, which are in, there is so much variegatedness. It is varied and divine and multicolored. All right. Then text 6. Yes, please.
Oh,
Text
best of
7.
the,
Sorry.
go ahead. Oh, best of the Bharatas, see here the different manifestations of Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashwini Kumaras, and all the other demigods. Behold the many wonderful things which no one has ever seen or heard of before.
Okay. So, Rasashekhar, Rohinipriya Das. Let's have this conversation again.
Oh my dear Lord, please show your universal form.
See all of my opulences, Rasashekhar, and they are in various forms, multicolored forms. See all of the devatas, see all of the adatyas. Do you think there's something a little amiss in this conversation? What?
So the divine eyes are not granted yet.
Arjun doesn't know that you need divine eyes.
He's sure.
See the conversation, again, look at the conversation. Let's go to, can you just, yeah. Rasashekhar, see my opulences, hundreds of thousands of very divine and multicolored forms. Can you go a little up? Sorry, down. The next verse, yeah, enough. Oh, best of the Bharatas, see here the different manifestations of Adityas, Vasus. So this is a conversation, all right? He's asked me to show my form. So I'm saying, look at this form, see all of my opulences, hundreds of thousands of very divine and multicolored forms. See here the different manifestations of Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashwini Kumars, and all the demigods. Behold the many wonderful things which no one has ever seen or heard before. Oh Arjuna, whatever you wish to see, sorry.
Oh Arjuna, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see and whatever you may want to see in the future. Everything moving and non-moving is here completely in one place.
Correct. Wonderful. Yes. What is a little, let us say, unneeded in this conversation? What is really not needed?
And he doesn't need to show that, it's already there.
No, in the conversation, what is not needed?
References to other people.
Okay, why would you say that?
Because he was asking about his universal form, he was actually referring to the other demigods or Vasyas and Vasus and other.
But that is what he's showing, right? It's like if I show the house and I'll say like, yeah, there's also a restroom here attached to this room, and we have 3 rooms upstairs also. Each one, 2 of them have restrooms, and there's a common one, something like that, isn't it? Okay, let's suppose I am the real estate agent, Rasashekhar has come to see the house, and I address him as sir. Okay, oh sir, this is the house. It is on 2 levels. There's a ground level and there's a top level. Oh sir, the father of your daughter, there are 2 rooms on the lower level and 3 rooms on the upper level. Oh sir, who is the husband of your wife, how does that seem? Sorry?
Describing a person in like
Adjectives.
You notice that? You notice what Krishna is doing? So why is he doing that? It's not there explicitly. That is Vyasadev's interesting way of writing poetry. And that makes it, that is how you find it very interesting. You could make it just like All right, today we are going to read the summary and learn things that are going to be very practically applicable in our lives. Or you could make it a little more, let us say, enjoyable. Why do you think? If Rajshekhar has come and I'm to see the house and I'm the real estate agent, if he's paying attention to me and is understanding what I'm saying, I would just address him as sir once and finish off whatever I have to say. Sir, there are two levels. The upper level has this, the lower level has this. There's a backyard. Would you want to come and see the backyard? How would it be that, sir, there are two levels, and sir, on the upper level, this is the, and sir, there's a backyard? When would I do that? So Rajshekhar is there. There's another scenario, and I'm talking to him, sir, there are two levels, and he gets a phone call. He says, excuse me. Yeah. All right. I'm a little busy, so I'll get back to you later. And he says, yes, please continue. And maybe then I would say again, sir. Does that seem natural enough? So there could have been an interruption. So what is interruption? The answer is there in the verses.
Whatever you now desire to see, and in future when Arjuna is asking directly, like, I want to see you, he's saying whatever you think you want to see, you can see in me. In these three verses. Something moving and moving.
Krishna is again and again not only addressing Arjuna in different ways, he's also again and again using the same verb. So there must be something with Arjuna's side. If Maithili is in the kitchen and you're telling her, look at how I knead the dough or how I'm going to make this preparation. And if I'm sitting here or he's sitting here listening to you converse with her and you're like, Maithili, do you see I'm doing this? Maithili, do you see how I'm doing this? Maithili, do you see how I'm doing this? And there's another scenario where like, Maithili, this is how you do it. Would you like to try? That is good. Yeah. Let me show it to you again. What's the difference between the two scenarios? When Rajshekhar, if you hear that, what's the difference?
In one scenario, you are trying to pull a retraction.
How would you see? How would you respond to that? What would you tell her, or what would you tell Maithili? How would you respond to that?
Maithili, please listen to your mom.
That is how you pay attention, right? Or that is how you may feel. Maybe it's not like that, but because the same verb has been used again. So Krishna is again and again using the same word. And if you look at the Sanskrit, it's the same word. It's the same Kriya Pad. You want to look at the Sanskrit? Okay, let's look at the Sanskrit.
Which one?
Verse 5, 6, 7. Because 4 is Arjuna asking Krishna. Yes. What is a verb? Verb. The Kriya Pad. Pashya. Pashya me. See me. Pashya. Verse 6.
Pashyadityam. Pashya again. See.
Pashya again. See, he's saying, okay, let's go. Pashyadityan. He's not going Pashyadityan, Pashyavasun, Pashyarudran, Pashyavishno, Pashyashvino. He's not doing that. If it were needed for him to say see multiple times, then he would have said, see the Adityas, see the Vasus, see the Rudras. So Vyasdev is constructing this verse, right? There must be a reason why Vyasdev is doing like that. And we kind of understood why a person would use the same verb again. What did you feel?
Basically, to kind of indicate the importance.
No, when Maithili and her mother were having a conversation and you were just hearing it from a distance, what did you feel?
The mother is trying to kind of indicate something, trying to grab her attention for something very intentionally.
So the first response is Maithili, pay attention. What could be some other responses that you could have?
Maithili, don't get distracted.
Don't get distracted. Any other response? If Maithili is a very good child, which she is, if she's a very focused child, what would be your response?
To her, or I can say, why are you unnecessarily calling her so many times?
Okay, that could be your response too. And she's also a very good mother. Think what could be another response? Yes, Maithili.
Do you understand?
Isn't it? Maybe not. You may not. Or you could. Maithili, do you understand? See. And the fill in the blanks is, have you seen? And Arjuna goes, no. No. So he says, okay, maybe you're not able to see all my mystic opulences. So see the Aditya, see the Vasu, see this. Did you see? Arjuna says, no. Then Krishna is saying, okay, I have to show something more. So see, every verse is increasing the number of things that Arjuna can see. Correct? Isn't Vyasdev a very wonderful poet? Not just a poet, he's a dramatist. But typically 11th chapter is not, people generally don't pay attention to it, so they miss out on the drama. Does anyone read the 11th chapter ever? You read? Ever? Or is it 12th chapter, 15th chapter? And if one wants to expand a little more, 9th chapter, 11th chapter? I mean, sometimes it seems it is more like prose than poetry. There's so much data, so much data, so much data there. Right? Drama. That is how it's so beautiful. The key to reality check. What do you think is the key to reality check now? It's right in front of our eyes. It's not that we may not read it. Why didn't we think that how is it that Arjuna, Krishna is again and again telling Arjuna, see, and every time in every verse, it's kind of Krishna is trying to expand all that Arjuna can see, make it much more easier for him. You know, when you tell someone, hey, can you see that house right there down the road? Like, which one is it? Oh, let's see. Do you see that blue or the red tiled roof house and two houses beyond that and across the road? They're like, I'm not able to. Okay, okay, look at the sky. Do you see the cloud there? Right underneath that cloud and this house. You try to do that, right? So that a person can have better understanding. Isn't that is what is happening here? Something like that. Help a person see. And ultimately in the 8th verse, what is he going to say to Arjuna? What is the 8th verse? After all this drama, what does Krishna tell Arjuna?
But you cannot see.
How would you feel if someone does that to you? How would you feel? तो बाबा 3 वर्ष पहले ही बता देते. Why do this to me? You could have told me right there that I would not be able to see. So what do you think? Krishna likes to make fun of people? Pull their leg? Well, he's known to do that, especially as a little child. So what's happening here? What do you think? Again, the key to reality check. That is what we are trying to address. Is it interesting up till now? Yeah? Okay. Should we just finish off here? On a high note. So the question arises, If one is really wanting to feel the vibes that are there in the Bhagavad Gita, then this is how one would want to read and understand. And Vyasadeva is a fantastic poet. Maybe we may not know Sanskrit so much, but if we know something about repetition, emphasis, a little bit, if you know a little bit about literature, about presentations, most of you, I'm into IT, you'll have to make presentations, sell things to the client, make them believe that you know all. You know how presentations should be. For those of you who have taken up full-time jobs as homemakers, you will know exactly how the presentation should be in the house, right? So this is not new to you. How is it that we may miss it out while doing the Bhagavad Gita? Because we only look at the Bhagavad Gita as something that is. We never look at the Bhagavad Gita as this is fun. Because for us, fun means just being at the mall. That is the only fun that you have. Or at the prasadam stall. That was rhyming. Maybe that's what fun is for us. No wonder some of us, and including the upcoming generations, would be so disinterested in the Bhagavad Gita. Because all they hear the elders tell them is memorize, read, memorize. And they're like, I don't understand. You don't understand? The next time Prabhuji comes, ask. Go to their classes, they'll make you understand. And when they go to the classes, the same thing. Memorize, read, memorize. So where's the fun? Here's the fun. Are Baba Krishna, if you knew that I could not see, then why didn't you let me know that before? You're telling me, see this, see that, see this, see that. So what is the reason? And Krishna is like, there is a reason. The reason is that you think you're too smart. Sometimes young children, no? Sometimes they are like, I know, they're always in this I know mode. Yeah? So as parents, occasionally you may come up with a different technique to make them understand they do not know. Isn't it? They're like, hey, do you know, I have this for you. I'm like, I know. All right. Where is it? You already know. But where is it? You just said you knew. Okay, I don't know. And why did you say I know? As parents, you do that, right? So you see how Krishna is being a parent here to Arjuna? Yeah? And therefore, is addressing Arjuna as Bharata, or descendant of the Bharata. Now, sometimes you might tell your child, yeah, you know, always your mother's son or daughter, or always your father's son or daughter. अपने बाप का ही बेटा है, माँ का ही बेटा है, बेटी है, right? So Bharata. So now, why would Arjuna need eyes? So most of you are already well educated in philosophy. And some of you understand in ISKCON, they always tell you, don't try to see God. Let God come and see you. You've heard that before? You've heard that before. Sounds so exciting, isn't it? God will come and ding dong. I'm God, I've come to see you. Oh, my dear Lord, I knew one day you would come. So We need different eyes, a different set of eyes. With these eyes, we only see material things. Good answer. But where is the fun? That is too serious a note. Like you don't have the eyes. Am I supposed to feel good about it, or am I supposed to be depressed hearing that? What do I do? None of us have the eyes to see Krishna, because we have lust, pride, greed, anger, and I'm like, okay, just one of the things is enough to make me depressed. This is 6x times. I've got lust, I've got pride, and I'm wondering where are all of that? But if they are saying, Prabhu is saying, it must be there. Then we find out reasons how that is there. So if somebody is giving us some prasad and we like go for it, we're like, oh, maybe I have greed. I should not. Already life is tough. And when we hear philosophy like that, it becomes more tough. So after some time, how do people respond? They're like, forget all of that. I may have pride. I may have greed. It's my life. I'll do it my way. Because they think that this is too dictatorial. This is too authoritarian. Now, if you read the Bhagavad Gita, there are practically, except when Krishna chastised Arjuna, like, you're supposed to be an intelligent person, and how is it that you do not? Other than that, we don't feel Krishna ever putting Arjuna in this situation. Any pravachan you come to hear, you're always like, all of us are gone cases. Like every Friday I come, every Tuesday I come, and this is what I get to hear. And sometimes what I get to hear is, Krishna is so beautiful, Krishna is so nice, Krishna is stealing butter. And if we want to see him, then we have to come out of a pride and finally it gets there. So after some time, one is wondering that is it always going to be like this? Am I so diseased that I can never ever taste the sweetness of a life, even in this material world, a life where I can relate to Krishna in a very comfortable way. Not like I think that Krishna is my son or Krishna is my father or something, not like that, but just a comfortable way. Like, yeah, this is a conversation between two friends, or maybe between a mentor and a mentee, and it makes sense. When you attend a session like that, where there's good mentoring happening, where it's very comfortable. You're like, yeah, I like the sessions. I'll come back again. So that kind of feeling. So let us go back. Pashyame, verse number 8. Pashyame. Again, Krishna says Pashyame. So chakshusha divyam dadami te chakshu. Krishna says you will not be able to see me, but divyam dadami te chakshu. Here is speaking of divyam dadami te chakshu. Dadami means give. Divyam, the transcendental, or that which will help you. Divya. Te chakshuhu, those eyes that will help you see this transcendental form. It's very interesting. Can you do, what is the verse? I think it is in the 9th chapter, if I'm not wrong. Is it Satatam Kirtayanto Mam? Can you look at that verse?
The Chatushloki, right? First one.
Can you look at that verse? Satatam Kirtayanto Mam? I think it's 9th chapter. Is it 11th? Maybe 10th chapter. 9th, yeah. See, no, not here. What is the other verse?
The lamp.
Ye na mam upayanti te. Yesham te satata yuktana bhajatam priti purvakam tadami buddhi yogam tam. Which chapter is that? Yesham te satata yuktana. And then we'll come back to this verse again. Would it be the 9th chapter again?
Chapter 290.
Yesham te satata yuktana?
No.
No, I don't think so. It's the 2nd chapter. Is there a search function?
Yeah.
Bhajatam priti. I think Yesham. Yuktana. Or is it Tesham satata yuktana? Maybe Tesham, yeah. Tesham satata yuktana. Those.
Third chapter.
Is it 814?
Yeah.
Tesham satata yuktana. Yeah, Tesham means those. To them, Yesham means again same thing unto them. So Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam. Here also he's saying dadami. I give. What does he give? Buddhi yogam tam. And there his 11th chapter, what is he saying? Divyam dadami te chakshuhu. So dadami buddhi yogam tam. What is being offered? Buddhi yoga, intelligence. And here, Divyam dadami te chakshuhu. What is being given to Arjuna? Eyes. So one is gross, the other is subtle. Isn't it? Something more, another interesting aspect would be, remember these two contexts. There is a reason why I'm saying that. One is, here in 10:10, he's saying dadami buddhi yogam tam. So he's speaking about the subtle facilities that we have, like the intelligence. And divyam dadami te chakshu, 11:8, physical. Okay. Can we go to again this verse 11.8? The verse that we are reading. Yeah. So divyam dadami divyam dadami te chakshu pashyame yogam aishwaram. Now there is another place that Krishna uses the same phrase, pashyame yogam aishwaram. Which is that place? Nachamat bhutani pashyame yogam aishwaram bhuta bhin nacha bhutastho amatma bhuta bhavana. You know this verse? Is it the 8th chapter? Where he says that I'm in everything, still everything is not in me. Can we look up that verse?
Yeah.
Think so, I'm not sure. Or is it the 7th? One of these verses, it is, it is all about his Vibhuti Yoga. Is it the 9th? 9th chapter? Vibhuti Yoga is also 9th chapter. Yes, text 5. 9:5. And yet everything that is created. Nacha matsani bhutani pashyame yogam aishwaram. Same phrase? Yes? No, when he says, what is he telling Arjuna here? What is he asking Arjuna to do? Can we read the translation? Behold my. Did we read that in 11.8? Yeah? Okay. Is he giving him eyes here? No, but still he's saying, behold my mystic opulence. How? What is it asking Arjuna to do? How should Arjuna behold his mystic opulence? Although I am the maintainer of all living entities and although I am everywhere, I am not a part of this constant manifestation, for myself is the very source of creation. So how is he asking Arjuna to do it? He's asking Arjuna to see his mystical opulence through understanding. Yes? And in the 11th chapter, he's asking Arjuna to see his mystical opulence through his eyes, divine eyes. So what does he actually want Arjuna to do now? What is it that he wants Arjuna to do? Does he want Arjuna to see his mystical opulence through his divine eyes, or does he want Arjuna to see it through the eyes of understanding? There's no eyes of understanding here, through intelligence. What is it that Krishna wants? Wouldn't it be wonderful to know exactly what is it that he wants? Yeah. So few questions have arisen. First, why didn't Krishna immediately tell him that you will not be able to see? I will have to give you the divine eyes. Now we also saw a couple of places where he says, I will give you the intelligence by which you can come to me. And here he says, I will give you the divine eyes by which you can see me. So what does he want to give? Obviously, we want everything. You know? If somebody asks us, do you want cake or do you want ice cream? Both. But how will you eat both? No, I'll take it. I'll eat one today and another tomorrow. So confident that we'll be living till tomorrow. Both. So what is it that he wants? And then we see that he says, behold my mystic opulence. Pashyami yogam aishwaram. In one place, he wants him to understand his mystical opulence. In the other place, he wants him to see his mystical opulence.
Partly it was also Arjuna's desire to witness that universal form. And that also resulted in Krishna showing that.
So he could have said, behold my mystical opulence. I'll give you the intelligence to my device.
So he wanted to prepare him logically to understand his opulence and then show him.
So that's the same thing.
The previous chapter, he mentally prepared him that this is what my opulence is. I am present everywhere, all the Vibhuti Yoga. And then in the Vishwadarshan Rup Yoga, there he actually manifested in the universal form. Or else Arjuna may not be able to relate. Right?
How would he relate to something that he would not understand? And how would Krishna explain to him something that is beyond his understanding? Anything that Krishna made him understand is according to what experiences he had, no?
My understanding is no matter how subtle level we try to understand with the intelligence and how much time Krishna said that, finally, as a human being, seeing is believing. Maybe that is where all the things that he heard, finally now, okay, seeing is believing. But let me show you the form that I have. Till now I have told you this.
Okay. So you think that is human frailty?
Yeah.
But he's getting divine eyes, no?
But also it is to realize Arjuna, because the Sakheti Matma Prasabham Yudhuktam, the verse that follows after this, he realized that he was kind of mistakenly thinking Arjuna, Krishna to be just his friend. But after this one, then he comes to, as you earlier said, to also clarify the misconception or to bring Arjuna to right understanding that who Krishna really is.
So you think that Arjuna was feeling that, hey, how can God be my friend?
That's what he expresses in that
Does
verse.
he?
I was thinking that you are just my friend.
Or is it I was only thinking? I was thinking of you only as. Was it that? So there's a difference between the two.
he's trying to fulfill his desire, Arjuna's desire to see him physically. You might have seen.
He's physically right there.
No, but his physical Vishwarup, whatever he explained that in the previous chapter, that his appearances, he wanted to physically see those appearances by his eyes.
So if he has explained something, and if that is understandable through the intelligence, what would make one still want to see that with the physical eyes? It would be lack of faith. How do you know that it is practical? If seeing is believing, then everything that I see is true. Do you think, like Arjuna must have studied that in his physics class, right? The law of refraction.
It's also for us, right? I mean, as the students of Bhagavad Gita, for future generations, Krishna giving a direct and indirect message through the medium of Arjuna for all of us.
So are we suggesting that trying to understand Krishna with our intelligence is not sufficient? What we need is to see Krishna manifest that.
As an additional data point.
So is that what we are trying to suggest? Because it's for us. So if my intelligence tells me that one should not jump, should I try and jump? Because seeing is believing.
Believing in what you have understood.
So then why would I want to jump?
With intelligence, you would have understood in one form, but by seeing, it's correlating whether his understanding is correct or not.
Okay, so when I actually put my hand in fire, I get burned. So I now correlate.
Probably the faith increases in several steps, not the other.
That's a good point. I like that.
You first have to understand that I have come here, then have to increase the faith that I think.
Okay. What do you feel about that? If Krishna is a teacher, Arjuna is a student, do you think step by step understanding and realization is how a lesson should be taught? Does that seem all right? Yeah. So who said theory and practical? So if both of your observations can be put together, is it more helpful? It's more helpful. Okay. A little more from what other people have, their studies have shown. When you use your intelligence to understand things, there is an element of faith that is needed. Is it right or is it not? If I'm trying to explain a scenario to you, you have to have some faith, a little bit of faith to at least listen me out. Hear me out, right? If you don't have that faith in me, are you going to hear me out? So when previously Krishna is telling, behold my mystic opulence, Arjuna is expressing his faith that, yeah, I'm ready to listen. Right? Would faith be enough? Some would say, yes, faith is enough. All right. So have faith that Krishna will send food to you and don't do any work. Maybe it would be enough, maybe not. But if you work hard and have faith that Krishna will send food to you, then because you worked hard, there could be some result of your work. So the possibility increases. Is that correct? Because you work, there is good action, reaction. That is how the world is arranged. Now, you may not always get favorable reaction. So then when you have faith, you work. The chances of having the result is much more than when you don't work and just have faith. Is that true? Correct? So when we have to use our intelligence, when we have to use our powers of intuition, understanding, we need to put faith there. When we want to see things, when we want to experience that, what do we need? But what does action need? Does it really need belief? In both places, desire is there. What is needed? Intelligence. If you work without using intelligence, what will happen? You know the story of Sheikh Chili. What is who is the person? Kalidas. I only know these two personalities. Do you know anyone else? They cut the very branch on which they are sitting. They're like, hey, if you cut the branch, you'll fall down. My father and my father's father, all of us, we are into cutting wood. You are going to teach me. Chop, chop, chop. He falls down because he's sitting on that very branch that is cutting off. Oh, that person must be a self-realized person. He runs after that person like, you must be a self-realized person. You must be seeing the future. How did you know that I'm going to fall? So when you are doing work, you need intelligence. Right? Intelligence, when you use your intelligence for understanding things, you are expressing your faith. So with faith, with having faith, we use our intelligence to understand things. Understanding things, we work. And then what happens? There is realization. That is when reality manifests. So what do you think is the key element? Based on our discussion, what is the key to reality check?
Faith and intelligence.
And how do we define that? According to one of the chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. I think it's the 5th chapter. Action in Krishna consciousness. Action in Krishna consciousness. Actually, it's a little more than Karma Yoga. 3rd chapter is Karma Yoga, actually. Isn't it? Action in Krishna consciousness. So there is action, and in Krishna consciousness that you've understood, you're using your intelligence. Right? So action, when we work using our intelligence to serve, then we get realizations. Those realizations are, that is what is reality. Krishna is again and again telling Arjuna, see. And Arjuna is not able to see because he doesn't have the ability to see. Krishna knows he doesn't have the abilities to see. But Arjuna is not as yet ready to accept that he doesn't have. Hence Krishna tells him, see again. And finally, when Arjuna does realize that he can actually not see without Krishna's help, that is when Krishna says, here, I give you those eyes. If he had done that before, either Arjuna would have felt, hey, I knew you would give me. Whether I need it or not, I know you would give me. So Krishna lets him understand that when Arjuna, he lets him come to a point where he understands that it's not whether I get it or not. I get whether Krishna gives me those eyes or not. What is true is that I need to have those eyes. That is when Krishna gives him the divine eyes and says, Pashyame yogam aishwaram. And for that, divyam dadami te chakshu. I'm giving you those eyes. Though te now becomes very, very significant. Those very eyes which you need in your understanding that you would not be able to see with any other eyes. You would not be able to see with any of your understanding. And then Krishna shows him the universal form, and that will be described in further verses. So the key to reality check is work with divine intelligence. Is that all right? Thank you. Let's stop here. Hare Krishna. Any questions, comments? Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Hare Krishna.